Karim, reporting for Chaos Boxing in association with RealCombatMedia.com and Anthony's Travel. And I'm joined by a queen of the Manchester boxing history. This is, of course, Carol Hatton. Now, Carol, you've said you're not an expert on boxing, but actually I've seen the way you sort of comment on social media and everything. And really, I can still tell that you love boxing. Is that the case?
Yes, I'm still an avid fan of the boxing, especially if the boxers are from like Manchester.
Yeah.
But nowadays I just like to prefer to ringside on my settee and watch it on the television.
Yeah, great. I mean, just getting into it, you've got such a rich family history of fighters having two sons who've turned around to you and said, I want to be a professional boxer. Did that worry you when you first knew they wanted to be professional boxers? Because obviously it's one of the most dangerous sports in the business.
It is weird because I actually remember going back a long time ago. Richard was in school and the teacher was going round, I think he must have been about 11 or 12, asking all the pupils what they wanted to be. I mean, some was answering, want to do this, want to do that. And actually, Richard did actually put, I want to be a professional boxer.
Right.
And he was only about 11 years old then.
Yeah.
So Richard's dream was always to be a boxer.
Yeah. And what about Matthew?
Matthew, I think he wanted to be the next Dennis Law.
Right.
Because his main sport interest was the football.
Yeah.
And he was actually quite a good-looking footballer.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, he went into boxing to follow his brother's footsteps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's widely known that Richard, I think he had about 79, 80 amateur fights. I think Matthew only had about 18.
Yeah.
So Matthew didn't have the same CV in the boxing.
Yeah.
But I always knew Richard was going to be a boxer. That was his only dream.
Yeah.
Where Matthew, he was torn a little bit. Football, boxing. Okay, I'll give the boxing a bit of a shot.
Well, it's interesting you say that because actually, Ricky seemed to get more of these sort of high-profile fights, but actually, if you look at Matthew's career, he had some fantastic fights. In particular, one that springs to mind is the fight with Canelo Alvarez. Because Canelo Alvarez was only 20 at the time. He was the next big thing, and the Mexicans absolutely loved him. And he went over there to fight him. And if any of you haven't seen that fight, go and check that fight out. Matthew Hatton versus Canelo Alvarez. Because Canelo Alvarez is trying to knock him out from round one. Yeah. But he showed so much toughness in that fight. I mean, how did you sort of respond to that one?
It was well... I think Alvarez is like the modern great, as he is now. I mean, and for Matthew to put such a good performance up on that night, and there was such a big weight difference at the weigh-in. At one point, we thought it was going to be everything was going to be like squashed, and then we negotiated some terms which made the fight go ahead. But actually, he was a massive underdog, and Alvarez, I think he was about 10 pound heavier at the actual weigh-in. So the night that he fought, he was like, he came in like a Hulk.
He did. It was a massive weight difference.
And for him to do so well against him, hats off to him. He did
exactly,
brilliant.
And even the American commentators were saying at the end of that fight, wow, this guy is game and got heart.
The Lion's Den as well.
I know.
You know, so...
It was amazing.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Another fight I remember, this is early on in Ricky's career. This was one where he fought at the Convention Centre in Atlantic City, and actually, it was really early in his career, it was like 1998. I remember seeing some more clips of that fight and thinking, wow, even back then he was showing angles and body shots and he was looking dangerous. But when did you realise to yourself, you looked at Ray and thought, he's going to be a world champion?
I think we always knew that he had something special from the amateur days when he was 15, 16. We used to go all around the country, watching him here, watching him there. And he was getting a little bit of a name even then, because when there was like going, say, 5 minutes away from him going in the ring, you could hear this thud,
yeah.
thud, and I thought, bloody Nora. And he used to be punching the walls.
Yeah.
And people used to be saying, Ricky Hatton's here next, he's good.
Oh, yeah.
Ricky Hatton's here next. And I think that's when we realised, he is going to be good.
Could be good.
Yeah.
What's it like as a mother? I mean, I've taken my sister to my little white collar fights and stuff, and she's been going mad at ringside. I mean, can you put in some sort of perspective what it is for a mother to go in and watch your sons in a professional fight at ringside? Are you nervous? Are you worried when they're taking shots?
I think a lot of mothers who have sons obviously connected in boxing experience the same things that I experienced all those years ago. Horrible gut feeling, dry mouth, which I used to help cool down with some vodka in my water.
Standard.
But I think from the other side of things, people used to say and think, how can Carol Hatton sit there at ringside? God, she must be as tough as nails. What a hard cookie she is.
Yeah.
But the fact was, I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being a drama queen, but if anything should have happened or would have happened, I wanted to be there. I didn't want a phone call to say he's in hospital or something's happened to Matthew. I wanted to be there, but it wasn't easy. Far from it.
Yeah,
it wasn't easy.
Right. No, I understand. Can you talk to me about the night that Ricky went in the ring to fight Kostya Tszyu? Because, I mean, was that one of the high points for the Hatton family in terms of a boxing night? That was for the £140 title, I think, and the IBF title.
Yeah. I think when my mind goes into rewind, I think as a family, that was our proudest moment.
Yeah.
And it was 2:00 in the morning, and it was like, crowd was immense. Yeah,
immense.
Brilliant. The atmosphere was brilliant. And I do remember sitting down next to Frank Warren, and he did say, Carol, this is going to be your kids' night. And I said to Ray, I think it was getting like about 1:45, and I said to Ray, I can't sit here. He said, what do you bloody mean you can't sit here? You've got to sit here. If he comes out and he doesn't see you there, he'll panic. And so I thought, right, I sat there, and all the fans, I sat there, and I remember my cousin, I always remember my cousin Jed, and out of all the faces, I saw Jed.
Yeah.
And he went, like that. And I went.
Yeah.
And then I was just ready for it. But best night ever for the family, for us all, and of course for Manchester.
Exactly. And I mean, that goes down as one of the legendary nights in British boxing as well.
I mean, I don't think we got to bed that morning till about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Good, hope you were celebrating hard.
Oh, God, yeah. And then we went to our local pub the following day, the New Inn, and it was like, it was...
I bet you didn't have to buy a drink that day, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't have to take my vodka in my water bottle. It was such a brilliant night that we'll, as a family, we'll never forget.
Brilliant. I've been asked to ask you this by someone who will remain anonymous, and he wants to know if there's any fighters that either Matthew or Ricky fought that you really, really hated, and like, I know you're very sort of, you're very respectful and everything, but were there any that you sort of thought, I want him to get you?
I've got to say, Junior Hitter Witter.
Junior the Hitter Witter. All right, okay.
Yeah.
What was it about Junior that you that made you not like him? Because you've even put him above people like Mayweather and people like that. So what do you think?
I do respect every boxer that goes into the ring, but the instant dislike for me as a mum, I always remember Richard had just fought Jonathan Thaxton. Yeah. And what a war that was.
Great domestic fight, amazing.
The cut that Richard had, and Thaxton, two warriors, hungry, fighting for that title. And on the apron, afterwards, Richard was there, sort of talking how well John Thaxton had done, and vice versa. Two warriors, total respect. Then, lo and behold, Junior Witter puts his little face in between them.
I remember.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
I'm trying to discredit the pair of them. And even more so, Jonathan Thaxton, because Jonathan Thaxton was like supposed to be his buddy. And I said to Ray, God, I want to spark him myself. That's what I really thought. But as you get older, I do realise now maybe it was a bit of hype talking from Junior Witter to get the fight, where in effect it turned massively against him. Because why should my son have given Junior Witter his biggest payday out there? But there again, Junior Witter was a very good fighter, awkward. They're all awkward fighters from the Ingle camp, with that stance and blah blah blah. But no, I did intensely disliked Junior Witter at the time.
Did you happen to watch the recent fight with Kell Brook and Gennady Golovkin? Did you see that one? I mean, again, Matthew, people sometimes forget Matthew went in with Kell Brook as well at a time when Kell Brook was sort of a rising star. And again, in that fight, he showed, I mean, what's in the blood? What's in the Hatton blood that just makes you tough? What is it? Because that fight was...
I enjoyed Guinness when I was pregnant with the parent.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, good stuff.
Right. All you mothers out there, soon to be, Guinness.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, really. I mean, I think it is in the genes because Richardson Campbell is going down that same path now.
I believe
so I think it is.
Is it one of his... Is it his first fight tomorrow, or is it second fight tomorrow in the amateurs?
Yeah. So great. I think it is. Must be something in the genes, a throwback. Because my husband certainly is not a boxer, and whatever. I think it's just in the genes.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Did Ricky ever realise how much he was loved by the fans? Because in his defeats, and let's not make any mistakes, he went in against two of the generational, not just best at the time, pound for pound generational fighters of the last 10, 15 years in Mayweather and Pacquiao. And of course he took those defeats very badly, but even I remember after even the Pacquiao fight, the crowd was straight on it, back on again. There's only one. The drummers were back on it again. He seemed to take them to heart. Did he ever realise just how loved he was, and why did he always feel like he had something to sort of, he owed the fans something? Yeah,
I think if Richard would like to be remembered, good boxer, good fighter, but I think his testament will be the adoration of his fans, which was like how many fans went over to Vegas. I mean, they'd never seen...
Over 15,000, wasn't it?
30 odd.
Yeah, that's insane.
30 odd.
And that was not just to get there, just to watch it on closed circuit.
I mean, when we was at the MGM was buzzing, and the Caesars Palace, and everybody was just, oh God, so, and I think it was then that he hit home. Yeah. And he thought, you know what, I do have the best fans. Oh yeah. Because how many fighters out there? People want them to get beat. People want them to get beat. Both lads, they always wanted the pair of the lads to win. Yeah. And I think that was, especially Richard, was a great testament. Yeah. And that is his, like he beats the drum. I had the best fans, and he did. He did. I
can't think of any other fighters that have had that sort of almost like cultish following in a way, where people are just there. We're starting to see some similar traits in Manchester with someone like Anthony Crolla, in the MEN Stadium. I mean, do you get to watch any of the local Manchester fighters nowadays?
I've not been, myself and Ray, have not been to any boxing fights since Richard and Matthew retired. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we're still not interested in the boxing, but we just like to... we've had enough blood, sweat and tears. So we now like to watch it at home.
Yeah, fair enough. I wonder if I could just touch back on one of the most sort of... one of the knockouts that gets a lot of attention on the highlight reels, and that's obviously the Manny Pacquiao knockout. What was your immediate reaction to that? Because obviously it was such a brutal shot. Was that when you thought, right, I don't want to see Ricky in the ring again and that sort of thing?
I think not many people know his preparation for the Manny Pacquiao fight wasn't good at all. And I can say that now because the event was such a long time ago, and people may have thought, oh, they're only saying that, because he got beat in such a devastating way. But mentally, he wasn't fit. The training wasn't good. No southpaw training, which I found unbelievable.
Yeah.
His sparring wasn't going too well, and I genuinely wanted, and his father wanted him not to fight that night.
Yeah.
But he did, and consequently, everybody knows the result, but devastating loss for him. I think he felt embarrassed, felt sorry for his fans, family, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest, I still think that's one of his little demons, you know, that it was such a devastating loss for him.
Yeah, yeah. Was sort of the build up to the Mayweather fight any different? Because in the build up to the Mayweather fight, he looked really relaxed. He looked. Was that just?
I didn't like the referee though in that fight.
Oh, Joe Cortez. No, Joe Cortez. If you ever watched this, what were you doing that night?
I'll sort him out.
Yeah,
yeah.
He didn't let Ricky work, did he? On the inside,
No.
didn't let him. He didn't let him sort of clinch and move out of the clinch. He broke him up very quickly.
I think he did quite well against Floyd Mayweather, even though he got beat. But no, I think.
Were you guys confident ahead of that fight? Were you confident Ricky was going to beat him?
Yeah, very confident. The only doubt, hesitation, anxiety, double anxiety was before the Manny Pacquiao fight.
Right.
We thought he was going over there to Vegas to do the job, and 10 out of 10. What round did it finish? 9, 10?
The Mayweather fight.
Floyd.
Mayweather, he knocked him out with the check left hook in the 10th round.
Yeah,
10th
and
round.
I do think maybe, I don't know, hindsight is a good thing, but if the referee had been a little bit stop it, things, I'm not saying it would have altered the result, but maybe he wouldn't have got sparked like he did.
He still found time to be his sort of like charismatic self in that fight though, because I remember at one point he turned around and showed his ass to Floyd Mayweather, because he was bending over the ropes and stuff. So
you know what? There's one thing that you can't say about my lad. He's got a great sense of humour.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he's known for it, isn't he?
He is. He is.
Are there any fighters at the minute currently that you love watching? Are there any
fighters?
At the minute in the world.
Oh God! I mean, years and years ago, I like all the Manchester fighters: Jamie Moore, Steve Foster, Anthony Farnell, Michael Gomez.
Yeah.
They were all on that scene when Richard was going up. Nowadays, and I used to like Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah.
Which
great fight.
that Linares beat.
Well, Crawler fights Linares this Saturday, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So that will be a really exciting fight.
I know, and I do like Crawler and Quick, and I am a fan of the Smith brothers.
Yeah.
Paul, Steve, Beef.
I remember because you were staying up to watch the recent fight with Liam, weren't you?
I do think Manchester is buzzing.
Yeah, I think
at the moment, really, really buzzing.
Definitely, and that is in no small part to like the legacy of people like Matthew and people like Ricky. It's been amazing having to spending some time and talking to you. I'd love to do this again with you sometime. But is sort of just on a final last note. I mean, when you look back over the careers of Matthew and Ricky, they didn't do badly, did they? I mean,
no, they didn't do badly at all. If Richard went in with Floyd, Manny Pacquiao, got beat. Matthew, Kell Brook, Alvarez. Two lads from a council estate.
What can you say?
Had a brilliant time, happy memories, and a very proud mum.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much for speaking to me. It's been really great.
Thank you.
This, of course, is Carol Hatton. I'm Aki Karim with Chaos Boxing and RealCombatMedia.com and Anthony's Travel. Thanks for watching.